What's going on? What's going on, guys? This is your man, Real Deal, Steele, coming to you live for a very, very special late edition. Thank you for joining me on this special midnight mass edition of Steele Live. I'm, of course, Steele, and if you're new here, I'd like to personally welcome you. Got an awesome community here. Would love to have you be a part of it, so feel free to hit subscribe and ascend with us. Also, guys, got a great show lined up for you. Definitely some interesting things to cover tonight. We're going to get down to it, boppers. If you haven't already smashed the like button, if you could just take a second to do that. It's hugely appreciated for all the time and efforts put in. And it just kind of helps us reach more people and work through the tricky YouTube algorithms. Also, if you feel compelled to super chat anywhere throughout the duration of this broadcast, that's immensely helpful. You can become a member by clicking the link pinned at the top of the chat. It's just, I think, $3 or $4 a month. And it's just another way to show and support what we're doing here. Without any further ado, I'd like to see who's active so far in the chat tonight. And I know the chat was active early on because I was running quite a bit late tonight, so I apologize for it. This was literally the soonest I could get on. I just walked in the door and flipped on my computer and got all my settings going. So, Joshua, thanks for joining us tonight. Alan Schneider, Mr. Kai Lin, Keith Havens, Rodrigo DeJesus, good to see you. We've got Alan Schneider, Mama Crypto. Who else we got in here? Anthony, good to see you, Anthony. Hector the Dude, of course. The Dogecoin Dolphin, Robbie Gilchrist. By the way, I'm gonna have Robbie Gilchrist as a special guest on here soon. We just gotta work it out, but we're gonna sort that out in the near future, Robbie. Swift Lipinski, good to see you. Abhishek Mishra. Apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. Hey, Steven, soon Dogecoin to the moon. I agree. I am with you, my friend. Elijah Peterson says, my wife and I bought Batman tickets at AMC with Dogecoin. Love to hear that. I love it. Nathaniel Smith, haven't seen you in a bit. Great to see you back in the mix, sir. Swift Lipinski, I think I already said that, but it's a name so nice, you gotta say it twice. Hector the Dude, of course. And the list goes on. Jody, good to see you in the mix as well. Says, Steven, you the man for still talking about Dogecoin. Yeah, it's near and dear to my heart. Number one position in my portfolio. I'm here for you guys. No matter what the market's doing, whether what's in and out of vogue, we are still going to it night after night here, taking it to the mat. Leo, welcome. And Nate. Hey, Steven. Hey, everyone. Good to see you, Nate. Yeah, so without any further ado, let me get to my notes, right? Let me get to my notes. Sorry, I'm honestly still catching my breath from such a long day, guys. Anyway, top of the notes tonight. Exciting stuff for Dogecoin holders. Dogecoin price signaling a 60% bull rally ahead. This is according to a few different analysis I saw. This article is off of FX Street. Dogecoin price is currently bouncing off between 13.7, 14.7. A spike in buying is likely to propel Doge by 60% up to the point of getting in 22, 23 cents. A spike candlestick close to 14 cents will 13 cents will invalidate the bullish thesis, however. Dogecoin price faces exhaustion after its recent gains, causing minor retracement, which we've talked about last time around the show. The pullback has pushed Doge into a demand zone, suggesting the possibility of a quick run-up. Now get this, you guys. Dogecoin retraced 14% after a 40% upswing that began on March 14th. While the pullback will allow Dogecoin buyers to recuperate, it was caused by Bitcoin's sudden downtrend. Regardless, this retracement has caused Doge to retest at 12.7 and 13.7 demand zone, which will provide bulls with enough oomph to kickstart another huge leg up. Resulting rally would propel Doge to retest at the 16 cents and then 19.5 cents weekly resistance barriers, clearing these hurdles for crucial market makers to collect a buy stop liquidity resting well above the 19.5 cent barrier. This accent, therefore, would constitute easily a 60% gain for Dogecoin investors that are willing to seize the opportunity, and now is ripe as Dogecoin price retests in that demand zone. And this all checks out from everything that I've been looking at as well. I think we are on a roll, guys. Let's take a look at what some of the charting going on right now. So speaking of Dogecoin, right now Dogecoin is trading comfortably above 14 cents and has been doing so all day. Very strong day for Dogecoin, very strong day for crypto in general. Now keep in mind, Dogecoin is up over 6% over the last 24 hours, putting Dogecoin up 9% over the last week, and most importantly, up about 7% over the last month. Very significant numbers considering how much ground was lost over the previous month before that. February was absolute slaughterfest. Most of first half of March was as well, for not only Dogecoin, but most of crypto. So the recovery that we're seeing now is very significant, particularly as it relates to Dogecoin. As more and more we go forward, we are starting to see Dogecoin independently break out, aside from Bitcoin, aside from Ethereum, march to the beat of its own drum more continuously, more frequently. This is just the sort of behavior you want to see if you are a Dogecoin enthusiast, a Dogecoin holder. I think that we are only going to see these independent breakout streaks from Dogecoin happen more and more as the year continues. Exciting, exciting stuff. Could Dogecoin reach over 20 cents within the week? I would put this at a moderate possibility. It's certainly on the table. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Dogecoin saw the likes of 20, 21 cents within the next 7 days. So exciting, exciting stuff, gang. What is going on in the chat? Vampire Kangaroo kicking things off with the first super chat of the night. Thank you for that $1. Make you holler. Never been to Costco, someone says. Costco's a good time, good time. After holding off for a while, I finally became a member. Nate's heralding the praises of pre-made shrimps from Costco. I like the $5 rotisserie chickens. I think that's what they're most famous for as far as food goes, right? Yes, plenty of Doge Army up in here tonight, folks. Let's get to the next story. This one's also Doge related. Now you can buy meat online with Dogecoin. I tweeted about this briefly before I went on the air tonight. There's a Canadian meat company called Meat Me. I love the name of that. I really like this company. I was looking into them. They're like organic, kind of grass-fed, ethically raised. They treat the animals very well on kind of like free-range farms, and they specialize predominantly in beef and red meats. And they announced just today that they are now accepting Dogecoin. And I posted a link to their Facebook page on my Twitter page if you want to check that out. I think it's a great idea when great companies, particularly ones like Meat Me, accept something like Dogecoin. So I think it's really cool if they can hear from the Dogecoin community and get our support and give them some free press. I mean, they deserve it. So, again, the company's called Meat Me. You can look them up on Twitter. You can check out how I tweeted about it and a direct hyperlink there if you want. So let me see if there's anything else. This is the official tweet that they posted just today. For crypto enthusiasts, we now have integrated BitPay into our checkout, which means you can pay with the following: Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin. So yeah, good times, and it's so great to see the adoption of Dogecoin play out just like I had hoped it would in terms of the big three. If you notice, when most businesses now that are converting to cryptocurrency, they use the third-party company BitPay, and Dogecoin is almost always in the three initial options that companies open up to when accepting digital currency. So despite Dogecoin hanging around at about, I think right now it's about the number 12 market cap, it is always in the top three because more and more business owners, more and more proprietors are realizing that Dogecoin is one of the very few digital currencies that people are willing to spend and that are most friendly to a retail environment. And thanks to the great work that has been and progress that has been being made by the likes of Tim Stebbings and the rest of the Dogecoin Foundation and the Dogecoin development team, we are seeing huge, significant strides being made in order to make that and extend and increase that Dogecoin adoption, to make it much easier for businesses to not only comprehend, but just make the whole process a lot easier for them to be able to accept Dogecoin. So I think it's just another fun, good sign of much more what is to come, in my opinion. Hunter Wayne, good to see you in the mix. Miles Connor as well. RW says, I'm at work now, typing in, meet me. May not be the best thing to do with the IT department. maybe a bit more specific in your Google searches. Meet me Canadian. Meet me Canadian meats or something. I don't know. Mr. Lynn says, Steven, I just sold all my Steele coin. What are you doing? Get out of here, sir. Listen, folks. Who wants to be a stillionaire? Who wants to be a stillionaire? Steelionaire. I was actually thinking that'd be pretty funny to do like kind of an online game show, have contestants up. I'm thinking about doing a Twitter space called Who Wants to Be a Steelionaire and hosting it. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that, guys. CNBC reporting 1 in 5 adults have invested in, traded, or used cryptocurrency. NBC poll shows, which is massive. These are massive numbers that I never thought would be possible this early on when I entered the crypto game 6 years ago, but more prominently about 2 years ago. Among the demographic groups studied, men between the ages of 18 and 49 years old were most apt to say they've dabbled in crypto at the rate of 50%. Think about that. So men between the ages of 18 and 49, 50% of them say they've at least dabbled in cryptocurrency. 19% of those polled said that they view crypto positively, and 25% indicated that they view it in a negative light. So the overwhelming majority of the public still hasn't made up their mind about cryptocurrency, and that's the fact. And it seems about split, nearly 50-50 on people that views it positively and negatively. So I still think these are really strong numbers. The fact that 1 in 5 Americans have invested, traded, or used cryptocurrency is quite extraordinary. And Remy really thinks so too. She feels very strongly about this. And of course, she is the host with the most, making her appearance for tonight. And she missed you guys. And say hi, Remy. Woo-woo! Woo-woo! Can you say hi? Woo-woo! Woo! Sometimes I can get her to copy me, or she do that. I actually posted it on my Twitter page if you see it. But she is excited. Remy? There we go. Remy is stoked. She's excited. She's excited about cryptocurrency. She's excited about dog money. And how could she not be with everything that we going on here? But most importantly and most prominently, Remy is excited about Steele coin, the future of crypto. The future of crypto, and that is where everything's going. You guys, zero devs, fully doxed. I'm right here. Zero liquidity, zero market cap. It costs $0 to buy. And you can at least, at a minimum, I'm guaranteeing that you will 1,000x your investment. More videos to come from Steele coin very soon, folks, very soon. Forbes magazine came out with an interesting top 10 today. After extensive polling and data gathering over throughout India, they have released the top 10 cryptocurrencies in India. And why don't you guys start guessing what some of those cryptocurrencies may be? Try to think about it, not from an American perspective, but in India, what would you suspect some of the top 10 cryptocurrencies are there in popularity? I'm going to go down the list and we'll see if any of you guys guess them. We're going to start at 10 and then we're going to work our way up to number 1. 10 would be Litecoin. Number 9 for the most popular cryptocurrencies in India is Polkadot. That one I wouldn't have guessed. Number 8 is Solana. Doesn't come as quite as a surprise to me. That makes sense. Number 7 is Cardano. Number 6 is Terra Luna. I love Terra Luna. I'm going to talk a bit more about Terra Luna in a moment, guys. Number 5 for the most popular cryptocurrencies in India to date is XRP. Number 4 is BNB Binance Coin. That should come as no surprise to anyone. Number 3 is Tether, USDT. Number 2 is Ethereum. And guess what number 1 is? Unfortunately, it's not dog money, folks, but it is Bitcoin. So interesting top 10 list there. Some of it surprising, some of it pretty predictable. But one thing we can be proud of here, particularly in a community like ours, is Dogecoin is now polled as the most popular cryptocurrency in the United States, believe it or not, over the last year, in 2021 anyway. So Dogecoin is wildly popular, particularly in America, more than anywhere else. And essentially, let's be real, folks, the United States is the crypto hub of the world. So goes the United States, so goes the world, guys, when it comes to cryptocurrency. And we are quickly, this country is quickly evolving to be the crypto mining capital of the world as well, specifically Texas, but a few other parts of this country as well. And there's been a lot of positive progress made in mining technology as well. I saw an article that said Elon Musk arrested at Tesla Gigafactory rave in Berlin. Elon Musk appears to have taken it a bit too far in his latest Tesla Gigafactory rave in Berlin. The richest man in the world was arrested Friday morning during one of his extravagant parties. Thousands of attendees poured out of the rave cave while local police stormed the compound. Police confiscated a massive sound system that Elon claimed in a stupor came from Mars. Police were not able to make sense of the statement, and they have given no further comment on whether or not the sound system was in fact made by alien technology. They did confirm, however, that it bumped louder than anything they had ever heard before. Well, folks, this is obviously an April Fool's article that I came across, but it was cute. It was cute. It was nice. I just thought I'd add that onto the notes for good measure tonight. Let's see. Sleepy Random, number 1 Steele coin. I love it. That's right. Sleepy Random also says, I'm switching all of my Bitcoin mining machines to mine Steele coin. I know somebody that wants to be a Steeleonaire, and that is Sleepy Random. Follow his lead, folks. See, he is a very smart man. Anthony, good to see you in the mix as well. Georgie, as well. Good to see you. Good to see you. I think we're caught up on new folks trickling in the chat here. You know, there's a guy from my hometown. He is, I don't think he's still around anymore. But his real name, he ended up being a professional race car driver. And let me Google this. I'm sure you can find information on it, but I'm gonna Google it first to see if there's information. There's gotta be information on this guy. Yeah, here he is. And he's from my hometown, and his real name was Dick Trickle. Dick Trickle. So Dick Trickle was a professional race car driver from the Midwest, and he passed on at about 2013. But it's estimated he raced more than 2,200 races. So who knows? I don't know what made me. What's that? Yeah, and he also, Hooters was one of his sponsors, which is pretty apt, I suppose. But that was his real name. And I actually knew somebody, an artist friend of mine, that was friends with Mr. Trickle. And through what I've heard, he seemed to be a heck of a guy and real charismatic, likable fella. Anyway, getting back to our next story, Senator Bernie Sanders stated just yesterday, billionaires like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are off taking joyrides on their rocket ships. On Wednesday, at a meeting at the U.S. Senate Committee on Budgets, Bernie Sanders raised an issue that's been a regular part of his political platform for many years: wealth distribution. And anyone thinks that we do not have an oligarchy right here in America is sorely mistaken, he said. Today in America, multi-billionaires like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson are taking on joyrides to their rocket ships to outer space. So, I mean, that's the first thing I think of. How dare they? How dare you take joyrides in your rocket ships, billionaires? You know, these are kind of like easy fall guys to blame the problems on in this country, in my opinion. And I say this as somebody who's not opposed to increased taxation for the wealthiest among us, but it just seems like this very easy boogeyman and scapegoat. Furthermore, I think it's pretty notable that Bernie Sanders has omitted lambasting millionaires and billionaires in his talking points. He mysteriously became a multi-millionaire since his last failed presidential run on cozying up to the DNC, and somehow arose from that being a multi-millionaire with multiple houses. So now he just rails against the billionaires like Musk, Bezos, and Branson, because honestly, they're the only economic class that's left that makes more money than he does. So anyway, next story, morning glory. We're going to Cointelegraph, folks. We're going to Cointelegraph for a story that says just 2 million Bitcoin left. Bitcoin hits a 19 million milestone. The 19th millionth Bitcoin was mined on Friday, a landmark occasion for the number one cryptocurrency. 19 million Bitcoin are now in circulation, with just 2 million Bitcoin yet to be mined or minted until roughly the year 2140. Folks, I've been saying this before and I'll say it again. Those of you who've been tuning in to me for a while probably remember about a week straight that I was talking about this before. I do think we're going to run out of Bitcoin much more sooner. That doesn't make sense. Much sooner than most even optimistic analysts have been predicting. 2040, I think, is even a long time to go through 2 million more Bitcoins. I think this is going to happen dramatically faster, much faster than most people are saying or predicting. We are seeing gargantuan amounts of Bitcoin being bought and transferred and stored onto cold wallets on a daily basis from major corporations throughout the world, and it's kind of like the big race. And once that happens, we are going to see, I believe, an ascendancy on the value of the top cryptocurrencies to the likes that we've never saw before. This particular increasing scarcity of Bitcoin, I believe, is going to have a dramatic effect on the top utility coins under Bitcoin, most prominently Ethereum and Dogecoin. Dogecoin is essentially the most ideal digital currency out there in terms of something that's going to be transacted in a retail space. Remy couldn't agree more. She just had to get in here, and when she heard Dogecoin, her ears just perked up, and she had to be seen on the screen. And she loves you guys, and she's just been a wonderful co-host. A bit too charismatic at times, but we'll take it. What do you think, Remy? Do you think Dogecoin's going to the moon? Think Dogecoin's going to the moon? Do you? You should see her head right now. She's got her ears perked up. She's going, Remy, is Dogecoin going to the moon? Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo! She won't do it now. That's okay. She has got some pep in her step tonight. There she goes. She's running all around this apartment. She is... Yeah, is Dogecoin going to the moon? Is it going to the moon? Well, the tail is wagging. That's what... Yes, it is. Is Dogecoin going to the moon? Is it? Yes, yes. Anyway, we can't let Remy monopolize the entire show. So anyway, I do think that the scarcity of Bitcoin is going to happen much sooner than most people anticipate, with only 2 million left to go, considering the entire supply is capped at 21 million. That's not a lot left. When you consider how quickly people went through 19 million since the inception of Bitcoin not that long ago, and since the inception of Bitcoin, obviously it's increased monumentally in terms of levels of popularity and volume traded and bought. So I think this last 2 million Bitcoin is going to go very quickly, and that's what I think we're going to really see the crypto market really go into overdrive, particularly on the top long-term utility-based coins like Ethereum, Solana, Luna, Dogecoin, of course. I think things are going to go absolutely gangbusters for long-term holders. Let's see here. Let's get to the next story, Morning Glory. Pretty interesting blog post by Vitalik Buterin today, now technically yesterday. Ethereum founder Vitalik praises Bitcoin maximalism, maybe. So I'm looking for the direct link to it. Vitalik Buterin posted yesterday, April 1st, in defense of Bitcoin maximalism. We live in a dangerous world and protecting freedom is serious business, is one of the themes of the article. Now you might say this is just Ethereum people having fun, but at the end of the day, they understand what we have to do and we are dealing with, but do they? Let's look at the kinds of people that Vitalik Buterin, the founder of Ethereum, hangs out with. And it shows him hanging out with the tech elites in China, Vladimir Putin, near Bakrat, mayor of Jerusalem, shaking hands with the former president of Argentina, the CEO of Google, and on it goes. What's particularly interesting is this was released on April 1st, so it's a very curious article. I think this is a mix. If you had to ask me my opinion on this, it's really worth reading. You can see the link on his Twitter page. If I had to guess what these opinions are, in light that this was released on April Fool's Day, I think this is a mix of his real opinions mixed with some fun, ridiculous hyperbole, all kind of mixed together to create kind of a brilliantly amusing read in the wake of it being published on April Fool's Day. Something I think very much in the spirit of Vitalik Buterin. Yeah, he's a very, very interesting character, very interesting guy. Let's see here. Looks like folks are just kind of mostly just hanging out, lurking. Diamond Hands Freddy, take it easy. He has to hit the hay. I understand. And now we're going to talk about something very briefly. New York Post has been talking about, a lot of people have been talking about it. I don't know if you guys have been following about what's been happening with Disney. Disney has been kind of embroiled in controversy when you have the footage from what is a title of what is being called the Diversity Inclusion Manager. Her name's Vivian Ware, and she is the Diversity Inclusion Manager of all the Walt Disney parks. And she's saying that they have removed all gendered greetings at their theme parks. No more ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. No longer will be a little girl in a gown greeted with hello, princess. And on it goes as, this gender, School of Thought, this gender theory pushes forward to essentially erase gender distinctions. Now it's kind of being pushed by Disney, which is causing a lot of controversy. particularly when it comes to Disney World, with Governor DeSantis kind of governing the show down there. It's just wild. It's pretty wild to see. I'm not going to go too far in this, but I consider myself a pretty open-minded guy, but this is just getting to points of South Park level real-life parody. You know, it's kind of shocking to me, to be honest, that we are having to have these discussions. I'm just going to leave that as a footnote, guys. I'm not going to get into it any further than that. But it's in the news cycle, and I just thought it was notable. Anyway, let's get to BBC News. Amazon workers win a battle to form their first union. Team of Amazon workers have forced the technology giant to recognize a trade union, and it's the first in the U.S. for the first time as it relates to Amazon. Workers in a New York warehouse voted 55% in favor of joining Amazon's Uber labor union. The group is led by former Amazon workers Chris Smalls, who made his name protesting against safety conditions at a retail giant during the pandemic. Mr. Smalls' victory marks a first major defeat for Amazon, which fought fiercely against unionization. However, in Alabama, where Amazon was facing separate union drive, the company appeared to have fended off activists in a tight contest, which challenged the ballots that yet could overturn that result. Personally, I think this is a positive when we see how just terribly many Amazon workers have been treated for many years now, barely being allowed, not even being allowed bathroom breaks many times, super hot box processing plants and assembling lines where they're not even afforded basics like central air in the middle of the hottest months throughout the year. Things like this, just working very grueling hours, pay kind of haphazard, benefits kind of haphazard. My position on unions overall is kind of a moderate one. I think they're very necessary in some cases and not necessary in other cases. If you're a CEO that treats his employees well and values its employees, you're going to have a culture that surrounds it wherein the workers are not going to be prone to even want to unionize. We see this most prominently in companies like SpaceX, obviously, and Tesla, obviously, where Elon runs the show. And then also Costco as well. The CEO of Costco also treats its employees very well between pay, benefits, and fair treatment. So those are very good examples. Jeff Bezos has not been a very good example of someone that treats his employees fairly and well. So more power to those people, as the way I see it. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Open a short on Disney and public schools. Yeah. This is madness, says Mama Crypto. Yes. Al Schleier says, I own some Disney, don't want to own it anymore. Yes, yes, yes. Here comes the robots, my friends. It says Carlos. Good to see you, Carlos. Didn't see you in the chat before. Nick Parmy, good to see you putting up some Doge emojis in the chat. CM Lamas, haven't seen him quite a while. Good to see you in the mix. Nathaniel says, when employees are comfortable, they work harder and better. Very, very true. Do you think Elon meant what he said about Doge earlier? I think he pumped up the Dogecoin community. Yeah, for those of you who know, Elon tweeted out a very Doge explicit tweet. It didn't last very long and before he deleted it, but obviously when he does that, I do think that is a deliberate signal to the Dogecoin community, 100%. And I think the reason why he deleted a tweet like that is to keep him out of potential hot water with the SEC, who's always looking for reasons to come after him anyway. And I don't recall at the moment what the tweet was specifically. It's eluding me. So if someone wants to put what that was in the chat, I'll be happy to read it out loud. Georgie says you need to invest in your staff, better pay more to your employees to have people who love their jobs and look after them. 100%, Georgie. I couldn't agree with you more. So some real good base thoughts from the Stephen Steele community here. And why am I surprised? We've got the best community here. Very, very sharp group of folks. The best community. a former president might have expressed. So let's see where else we got in the notes, folks. This one is pretty cool. Climate change, wind and solar reaches milestone as demand surges. Wind and solar generated 10% of the global electricity for the first time in 2021. New analyst shows 50 countries got more than 1/10 of their power from both wind and solar combined, according to a researcher from Ember, a climate and energy think tank. As the world economies rebound from the pandemic, demand for energy has soared. This is a really good sign because overall, we do want to head in the direction long term to transfer more and more of our energy to greener alternatives like wind and solar in conjunction with nuclear energy. I'm a big proponent of nuclear energy. I think nuclear energy, I don't think you can discuss being a good steward and stalwart of the environment for the entire globe without having nuclear energy be a significant part of it, particularly until we get the green alternatives up to a level that is sustainable and can deliver the kind of energy the world needs in reality. We're not really in a place where we could move to wind and solar for the majority of our energy yet. I think eventually we will be there in combination, in tandem with nuclear, but we're not there yet. But the point is that we've moved and generated a full 10% of global electricity on through wind and solar. I think is super significant. I know Elon Musk commented and praised this as well. So I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see here. As we go forward, guys, by the way, thank you for the $2 super chat, Mr. Lin. DGT Doge to the moon. I love it. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. Appreciate it. The crypto Ali is up 350% in one day. Missed that one. Yes. And that was one that I wanted to mention. I think that's in my notes, actually. Where is it? Give me a second, guys. I know I made a note of it somewhere here. Yeah, so here it is. Okay. Thank you for your patience, guys. So those who aren't familiar with it, it's called Zilliqa. And it debuts, and its call letters are ZIL. It's up 350% in just 5 days. Cointelegraph is reporting is a sell-off ahead. The thing is, guys, I was sitting on some ZIL, a very small amount. I sold it. But I had my suspicions that it was going to rocket. And I just compounded it into a safer investment, unfortunately. But I had my suspicions. I've talked about this in the past. Some of these predominantly metaverse-based DeFi projects are going to be making a lot of millionaires and billionaires. And we're going to continue to see a lot of parabolic rises like this. Of course, the tricky part is which ones are going to do it. Because currently that sector of the market is so tremendously oversaturated, you have to do copious amounts of research to kind of be even in the general neighborhood of being close to know which one of these are going to go parabolic to these degrees. So is the sell-off imminent? Yeah, I think it's definitely imminent. I don't really see it maxing out more than 400%. I think we are a severe retracement at this point for ZIL is imminent, really, is inevitable. So be careful about aping into ZIL at this point. However, what we do many times see on a project like this after a big severe retracement is another huge run up within the month. So that may be an opportunity after the full retracement, or what you think that is might be a good entry point. That might be a worthwhile entry point. I don't think this is the last. This huge, tremendous rally is the last that we'll hear from ZIL. I think it's here to stay for a while, and I think it's good for at least a couple more run-ups. If I had to give you my opinion, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just spouting off my opinions, guys. Any April Fool's pranks today? Plenty around. I mean, if you opened up Twitter, about 80% of all tweets were April Fool's pranks. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But it's a good sign for altcoins. Yes, I agree, Georgie. I think that we're probably going to see Bitcoin rally well over 50K in the near future. I think once Bitcoin can get up on through 52, 53, 55,000, I think that's when the really small market cap altcoin market is really going to push into overdrive, wherein it's been hurting for quite some time. But I do think that we're going to get there. I do think that we're going to see a huge altcoin market rally that we haven't quite seen fully kick in yet. And I mean that respectively to the smallest of market caps. Guys, if you're brand new here, you've been watching Steven Steele Live. I'm, of course, Steven Steele. It's great to have you with us, and I'd love to have you be a part of our community. We've got an awesome thing going on here. So feel free to hit subscribe. Hit all that notification bell. Ascend with us to the moon, Mars, and beyond. How many of you watched my short video on Steele Coin? How many of you watched that? If you haven't, it's on my channel. Just check it out. It's one of my most recent videos. It's a lot of fun, and it's a new kind of fictitious project that I have started called Steele Coin. And it's just a fun, funny kind of joke thing. But watch for more Steele Coin material to come in the near future. For sure, for sure. Swift Lipinski says, glad I bought so much Sol. For those of you who don't know, that's Solana. When it was under $100. Yeah, really. And Solana, speaking of huge rallies, let's take a look at what Solana's been doing lately. Pretty magnificent. Just give me a moment, gang. I keep scrolling. Where the heck is Solana? Give me a moment, guys. I'm trying to pull up a Solana chart real quick, because Solana's been having a heck of a week, heck of a month. Let's see here. Okay, finally a Solana chart. Pulling it up here. Sorry for the delay. So Solana up almost 12% just for the 24-hour cycle. Up a whopping 35% over the last week, and about 33% over the last month. So Solana continuing to rally. The price of Solana now at over $135, headed towards $136. Just extraordinary. So for those of you who have been hanging on to Solana, today is certainly a day to celebrate. And I have no reason to believe that the trajectory of Solana with its normal corrections respectively won't continue to see these bullish movements upward as we start to see the altcoin market shape up to the degree that the most formidable, vibrant Ethereum alternatives are emerging and making themselves quite clear. In my opinion, these are Solana, this is Lunaterra, this is AVAX. I think those are the main ones to watch. Particularly, we're seeing more action and volume traded with AVAX as we continue to see it take a bigger piece of the NFT market, as that continues to evolve very rapidly now, and the metaverse as well. I think AVAX, don't sell AVAX short. I don't think it's a passing phase. I think AVAX is here to stay. Lunaterra, particularly tethering itself essentially to Bitcoin, buying huge amounts of Bitcoin on a daily basis. Basically, Lunaterra helped driving this bull market to degrees that we really haven't seen as it relates to a secondary project like this. I do have an article that I wanted to cover in relation to Lunaterra as well that I think is quite fascinating. I continue to be just pretty fascinated by what Lunaterra has been able to accomplish and what it's doing. Cointelegraph reporting today, Lunaterra founder reveals what will happen if Bitcoin price crashes. He was talking about the long-term growth of BTC and just talking about essentially that if Bitcoin crashes, it would be very bad news for Lunaterra. But the good news is he is incredibly bullish about the future of Bitcoin. So essentially, more than any other coin that I can think of, the upwards trajectory of Bitcoin is directly reflected with Lunaterra. More so than any other coin. I personally think that Bitcoin is going to continually be a long-term store of value, the premier digital gold, if you will, as we move forward. And I think we're going to consequentially see kind of a twofold wherein Lunaterra will continually be ascending and pushing the value of Bitcoin, and conversely seeing a big effect, positive effect on Lunaterra as well. So, and then of course, the more we evolve here, Billy Marcus made a very important distinction the other day, which I think was a very good one. Called for the Dogecoin community to begin to make a serious pivot in the way that Dogecoin is addressed, the way that it is marketed, in terms of not even referring to Dogecoin as a cryptocurrency, but simply a digital currency. I think this is very wise. It shows a special distinction between the endless token projects that are out there, cut and paste projects that are out there. Dogecoin actually has strong, sleek, simple utility, and that is its strength. It obviously runs on its own blockchain as well, making it one of the most formidable long-term crypto investments, well, digital currency investments, in my opinion. So Billy Marcus calling for Dogecoin to be referred to as a digital currency, I think is very smart framing and a very smart way to talk about Dogecoin. So I just thought that was pretty cool. RW says we're going to reach new highs with Dogecoin very soon. I think that's a very high probability, RW. Swift Lipinski says I've been buying a lot of Solana NFTs too. It's going to be the big move. Yeah. So as far as the NFT market, I do think Solana, in terms of Ethereum alternatives as it relates to NFTs, I think Solana is on the forefront, with AVAX coming close behind. It's not really Lunaterra's strongest point, but it doesn't need to be the more you look into the essentially the business model and the nature of utility of Lunaterra. Yes, indeed. Lots to be excited about, lots to be encouraged by, guys. I hope you guys are all having a great start to weekend. I know I am. I am fired up. Diamond Hands Danny. Good to see Diamond Hands Danny. I think that's a new name in the chat. When do you think Elon will reveal how much they made off of Tesla merch with Doge? Great question, and one that I'm wondering about myself. I know for a fact now that Elon Musk at least knows who I am. He commented on one of my tweets last week, so that was cool. Obviously, perhaps I can ask him, right? Perhaps he'll respond. I will. Look, guys, I'll ask Elon Musk on Twitter. I'll respond to him, and who knows? Maybe he'll answer. But I would think that those numbers are going to be out in the pretty near future. And if not in the near future, they're going to be out in the near future either way. Look, but I think it's possible that they might be holding on to those numbers and use them as part of the press release for the full acceptance of Dogecoin as it relates to Tesla, because as we know, Dogecoin has limited Tesla acceptance for select merchandise. It's kind of a test run for Dogecoin, but I do believe that is simply the precursor for full acceptance of Dogecoin as it relates to Tesla Inc. I think once this happens, the floodgates could open wide as we see huge money investors likely ape in, and could really propel Dogecoin in very short order to values that we have not seen yet, even beyond its all-time high of 75 cents. Steven Steele is a vampire. Keith always likes to remind people of that, but essentially, he's not wrong. Elon is a Steele coin whale. Fact. I love it. And not a bad little crowd here, considering how late it is. It's about 1:40 in the morning in my neck of the woods, going on bar time. And if you're out on West Coast, of course, it's much earlier at about quarter to midnight. And if you're out on the East Coast or in Florida, you're truly going into the twilight hours. And so thank you for sticking it out with me tonight. Yes, indeed. Emperor Doge, good to see you in the mix. Tesla will probably report it as at the next quarterly. Yes. And they haven't given their quarterly numbers yet, but I would think that's a high probability. Anthony says, how fast do you think it can go to 75 cents? Well, Anthony, I tell you what, obviously I don't have a crystal ball. I'm only spitballing my opinions here, but I think the journey back up to an all-time high for Dogecoin could be very swift, very efficient, and really catch people off guard, particularly as we see now that the Robinhood wallets have been dispersed to almost all of its user base. I think that is one of the things that Elon had been waiting for before announcing full Dogecoin acceptance for Tesla. I do think that once Tesla announces that it fully accepts Dogecoin, I think this is the fence and the signal that a lot of more conservative, well-money investors are waiting for before aping into Dogecoin. We certainly saw just incredible amounts of new money getting poured into Bitcoin when it was announced that Tesla accepted Bitcoin. And so I don't see any reason to believe why that sort of response wouldn't happen for Dogecoin. Anyway, folks, I've been going here for almost an hour. I've got a lot to get to tonight before I go to bed, believe it or not. But don't worry, I'm still working on the 1-year annual celebration party for the show. That's going to happen within the next 10 days at the very latest. And I'm putting together a ton of guests. We're going to kind of have an extra long marathon stream to celebrate 1 year, the first 1 year anniversary of this channel, of this community. So stay tuned for that, folks. I want to appreciate you guys all tuning in. And if you don't already follow me on Twitter, make sure you do so at Mr. Steven Steele. That's Mr. Steven Steele. I'm very active there, and I love staying connected to each one of you fine folks over there. Until next time, this is your man, Real Deal, Steven Steele, sign off. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye now.